Hi, so for week 5, we learned about tools and processes that can be used to help address problems that individuals or workers' management intends to solve. So for this, I first used the structure brainstorming session. It was a little altered, obviously, because I'm not in a group setting. So I set the goal that I wanted to solve, and then I brainstormed a list of what the current processes were that my company's using, a list of disadvantages, and also a list of ways I think we can improve it. So the goal I put at hand is give patients results in a time efficient manner. So just in jotting down, I was saying that there are multiple provider buckets, there's 5 medical assistants, we're calling between rooming patients, leaving voicemails, not getting back to them, and how it's just becoming a problem. So some of the solutions I was trying to come up with were maybe one person gets assigned to callbacks each shift, or say the night shift calls everyone, leaves voicemails for the ones that they can't reach, and then when the morning shift comes in, they recall those people who left messages, so then they've been attempted twice at least, and then the night shift comes in, all those messages were either taken care of or restated that they were left messages, and then they take on the new messages that are left. Or each medical assistant can focus on the provider that they're working with that day, because we switch every single day. And you come in, if you're working with Dr. A, you take Dr. A's bucket. And then when your shift ends, make sure you call everyone in that bucket. So in the session, as I was going through it, I was just listing them out, I was typing them out, and found that it was easier to come up with ideas just fast on the spot. I defined the problem, and instead of picking one idea and then picking it apart or seeing what can work, what can't work, getting them all down on paper and being able to see after the fact, to see how if one person's assigned, there's a lot of providers that might be overwhelming, they might not get to it all, and that could leave the person assigned the next day at a worse spot. And having if night shift is calling everyone and morning shift's not, it's just not even. So it was easier to see the conflict, and how having your provider be the one you're calling back could be the easiest solution, and I feel like it would come to the most success. I didn't stop there, and I also did the 5 whys activity. So in this one, I put the problem is our result bucket is full and we are not calling patients in a time efficient manner. My first, why? There are too many patients to get back to. Why? Not everyone is making an effort to focus on callbacks during their shift. Why? People are busy with running the provider's schedule and don't have time to get to all the results. Why? There's not enough staff to allocate our time in different ways. Why? We are outnumbered by the providers and don't set aside time to do callbacks before the provider starts or after they end within our shift. So focusing on these 5 whys was honestly more insightful to uncover the root cause of why we're not getting to these callbacks quicker. It was, I was doing this structured brainstorming, it helped me come to a solution that I do think will be beneficial to implement into the office. But going through the whys made it clear of why it's actually happening, instead of just, here's the problem, here's a good solution. It was the root of it, saying that at the end of the day, we're short-staffed and we're not putting enough time and effort into it. And I feel like doing it this way can help with lasting change. Knowing why something is happening, it gives more meaning towards working towards a solution, instead of just being handed, here's a problem, here's a solution, do it. You understand at hand why it is happening, and it may seem silly to ask all those whys, but as I did it, I saw such a different mindset than I did when I was brainstorming the structured way beforehand. And it really kind of opened my eyes of, why am I not doing this? I'm saying the buckets are full, but why am I not contributing enough to make the problem lessen. So I feel like all of these activities are so useful and eye-opening, and reading about it seems like, oh yeah, that would work, but okay. And actually doing it gives an opportunity to see it work as it's happening, and not just read the processes, but to be putting yourself in it to see how, if you were leading this for you're managing or you're helping a company and you come in as the psychologist and you implement this, seeing how it works and knowing how it made you go through your own processes. So I find it to be extremely helpful, and I think companies, organizations should definitely take on these processes.